So what I'm going to do first here is kind of review. This is the profile that we're going to be carving. We're going to have a bump in the center, and we're going to be dishing it out. What we're going to review is we want the dishing out the smooth side of the cut to be right up against in this direction because we're going into a hole. What I want to show you again with that paintbrush, the bristles representing the grain, that I have arrows here showing you how to get that smooth cut in this direction. So if you were to try to make that cut in this direction, you'd be tearing the wood. So that's in this direction, and in that direction, and this direction, and that direction. Also, look at the tool and see that we have the bevel on one side, and the other side of the tool is normally straight. And if we push that tool straight into the wood, the force that we're putting, so the movement is going down, but the force bisects the angle. So the force is coming in on an angle this way, because every time you put knife or chisel to the wood, what we're doing is putting in a wedge into the wood. What we need to do is, if we were going to go and carve this button here right in the center, this grain going in this direction, that's very weak. So we come straight at that. What we're going to do is put force on it, and we're going to break it out. So what we have to do is we have to come in at an angle on it. So you're going to work at the angle, and then if you need to straighten it up, then you can take and shave it at that point. It's important to come in at the angle to start with. This number 7 gouge will work quite well in many different size circles. So I've got a 3/4 inch outside diameter circle and a 9/32 on the inside. And the number 7 gouge is what to use for this whole example. So here, the outside diameter was a little bit smaller. The number 7 gouge, you can see, does not fit the radius in the inside, but we're still going to use it for that, and we're going to do it. So this is part of the exercise, doing all of this with this number 7 gouge. What I'm doing is I'm just digging this in right at the edge, and I'll do like 3 coming across. And this kind of saves time because that's the right hand carving. Now this is the left hand carving because I'm coming from the other side. And I'm setting that gouge right there on the circles. What we're doing is making the stop cut. And so by pushing in on the angle, I'm going away from that line a little bit, but that's okay because we're going to straighten it up. So I got the 2 sideways, the grain's going this way. Now I'm going to go cross grain, coming in like that, and cross grain coming down on it. So now my stop cuts are made. So what I do is I come across this way because we're going in that direction, around coming here. So I make those cuts, and I'm staying away from my line, because if I cut my line off, then I lose my drawing and I might get large on it. So I'm going to stay away from that line, just stay to the inside. These first cuts are just roughed out. So that's the right hand carving. Now coming in with the left hand carving. You see how I just started with the corner of the chisel. Just start digging in. Let me just finish them up like this. Now the depth of this cut and the depth of that cut normally aren't the same. I'm not worrying about it. That's why this one didn't break off. This one was close and it did break off. It's good to practice to try to get them close. If you've got any whiskers or anything, you can come in like this and just smooth them out. Then I come in with, again, now the top of this is going to be a dome. We were showing that profile there as being rounded. So we're going to come in and we're going to round that top, and we're going to go deeper. Again, about as deep as we went on the first cut. I normally make 3 passes at something like this here if I'm doing a molding. Or this is an exercise that will help you make eyes and any place that you need a bump, someplace that's kind of delicate. Then it's just repeating the same process. And I'm trying now, I did lose my line a little bit there. I just went a little bit too far both of those times. This I'll stop before I go too far. Now I got a lot of whiskers there, so I'm just going to come and clean them up. And now the third pass will go right up to the line. So the first 2 are the rough cuts. So I can just see a little bit of that line left. What I'm trying to do is cut that line in half. When I get my hand in the way of the light, I can't see it very well. I come in like this. And just take the whiskers off. So that gives you something to practice with there.